5, 4. No
Yeah,
countdown.
because it's already live now. Like it's
You just straight to live.
straight, like straight with the
Need
K, like straight
need a
to live.
countdown for people on the call, man.
That's it. That's it. So speaking of which, what's going on, everyone? For those of you that are just chiming in, which is nobody right now, because StreamYard is telling me that 0 people are watching, but the rebroadcast will be lit. So
Yeah,
so let's talk about this, Brian.
hit it.
First of all, as we talk about some storytelling, I know you as Brian, but
Yep.
professionally and on streaming, what
Mm-hmm.
do you want to be known as? Do you want to be
Theodore,
referred to as Brian or Theodore?
Theodore, still Theodore, man. That's how we're going now, man. From
Okay.
here on out, unless you know me from when I was a little picnic,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Cool.
It's Theodore.
So from here on out, henceforth,
Henceforth,
he shall be referred to as Theodore.
yeah. Yep.
You should have corrected me on that from before because it's so easy. It's so
Yeah,
easy for me to
it's
say
fine.
it.
Though. It's fine.
But
You've known me for
but
years, man.
because this is interesting when we talk about like just branding, right? We want to be able to make sure
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
I just had one person and then left. So let's talk about let's talk about let's talk about a few things, man. All things storytelling and videography and just how they merge, what they connect with. I'm gonna go over an article that I read recently, last night. I'm talking about recently, like it was this week. It was last night, not even 12 hours ago. But first, okay, let's get some stuff out the way. First of all, this wall blends in with my skin.
Yeah, it's doing it. It's doing it.
What story does that tell from a videography standpoint?
Well, that's not really the thing. It's just that it can be, for some people it might be distracting. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You got a lot of people that like to pixel peep and kind of like look at all the little things.
What's the percentage of those people?
Say it again.
What's the percentage of those people?
Oh man, I think that actually depends on your industry. If you're going to really start doing things for more people that know about video, know about lighting and things like that,
Yeah.
then it's going to be large. People that, like, let's say you were doing unboxing and reviews, not too many people. Not too many people. They're going to be there for more about what you're talking about. They're going to appreciate good, like everybody does. Everybody appreciates a good scene.
Yeah.
But
You got a good scene.
you're gonna find less people that are gonna like really look at that. I mean, from when we've done a few of them, a few of these, and the video I did on my channel, someone was talking about how my plant and my guitar are in darkness. So yeah, man, I put a light on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the difference.
Yeah, it makes a difference. I was like, you know what? You are right.
That makes that's true because that's what I started using for mine.
Yeah.
Was this little LumaCube joint, just kind of put in there to kind of highlight it. Your boy don't have much props. You don't have the bookshelf like most people got with the nice little clean. Okay, so let's talk about this. So from a technical standpoint, there are going to be a lot of people out there like, oh, he looks like the brick, like the brick wall behind him, right? He looks like when you do the fade in StreamYard and you start blending in with the green screen, like he looking like. So what colors should I use? And to add on to this, I actually pulled out the blue side of my green screen, right? I pull out the blue side, I put it in the back, and it started looking gray. And I'm like, this is interesting. Not only is the blue looking gray, but I started looking more yellow. And I realized that the lights that I have a yellow shade on it, but it doesn't really, you don't really see it until you put something in the background that reflects that kind of lighting. It was so weird, which is crazy. So like right now it's fine where it looks like I have like white lighting, but these things are yellow. So it was like the yellow hit the blue, which kind of neutralized it and made it a gray. And I kind of like that gray kind of feel. But what are your colors that you would suggest for somebody that is my really your complexion? I mean, because
our complexion.
Complexion.
I mean, this is going back to your contrasting colors. You want something that your skin tone, your colors, everything about your brand is going to pop off of.
Yeah.
Like I'm close there with you, man. My skin color is really really close to my backdrop. Um, but
But it works though.
look, yeah, I kind of like the look. I'm going to probably just play with my lights a little bit more.
Yeah.
Today I don't have my hair light separating me from the background.
Mm.
Normally I do. That
Mhm.
might help a little bit, but yeah, man,
Okay.
you always want to have a color that you're going to pop off of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
right now, I'm not popping right now.
You're not
I'm
popping as
blending.
much as you could.
Okay.
Yeah, that blue might have been a good choice. Gray, decent, a lighter gray.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Because
Or
that's kind of what you have in your back, right? Like your background, even though it's brick, the center of where you are
it's
is
kind of like this
faded out.
lighter. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, so that works. So for those of you that are watching this, if you're just kind of looking for ideas, and if you are not as fortunate
Hmm.
as some of us might be to have an amazing, there's some people they don't need a background. They've got the background works,
Yeah,
and they just got to shift some stuff out. Many of us don't have that privilege. We're
yeah,
not privileged in
yeah.
such a way where we have to construct our backgrounds, and we don't have much space. Choosing the right color is important. What about props? So like for you, your prop is, you play the guitar. So, you have the guitar in the background, you have
Yeah.
a plant on the other side. It's kind of hard to see, but it's just enough to know that there's something happening on the other
Yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are props necessary? Like if I were to just move this whole thing out right now and I was just, looking like I was, in a brownstone in Brooklyn, would it
Well,
work?
well, okay. So when looking at your background, when I'm, sitting up here looking at it, uh, it's fine. It's not. It's not award winning, but it's not.
I need award winning. I need award winning.
I mean, but I
Yeah,
mean that this is it's just like mine. This isn't an
yeah.
award winning background that I got
It's,
going on, man.
it's kind of tight
Uh,
though. Like
but yeah, and I appreciate it. I
work.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, you can have a solid background. There's a lot of people out there that are doing their Zoom calls, they're doing YouTube, they're doing other video production that have just a solid background.
Yeah.
Lighting, however, is
Mhm.
what steps your game up.
Okay.
That's where everything comes into play.
I like doing this.
Huh. Yeah,
I, I,
yes, yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know it. I know
I,
it.
I like playing around with the lights now. We having fun with it. Oh shoot, hold on. I can't even see how to turn it back on now. It's so dark here. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Uh,
I don't even know like what. Okay, I think that's what I have. So okay. Um. So we talked about backdrop.
mhm.
Talked about lighting is still important. Okay. So if I want to have now we've got props. You're saying that
Yeah.
props aren't necessary. They're
No,
not must-haves. If you had to choose between props and lighting, obviously it would be lighting. Like people need to see,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
need
yeah.
to see you.
Out of those two, I'll be back in a second. Give me a second. I'll
Mm.
be right back.
Mm-mm-mm.
There I am. There I
Mm-mm.
am. Yeah, man. Give
Okay.
me a little bit. Give me a little.
Okay. So here's my thing, right? I came across this article that says, what to do if your career is stalling and you don't know why.
Okay.
And it pretty much hit on 3 or 4 factors as to why people who are top players, so they are A players, but they just never make it to the C level. So they don't
Mhm.
become the chief XO, like the chief marketing officer, the chief human resources officer, the chief strategist. Like they are just still they are still just the top player in their team, but they are not the person who's going to be at the helm of the company, kind of steering things from a larger organizational context. And the top reason, 36% was because of executive presence.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. I said, "Oh, okay. Let's talk about storytelling here," because a lot of it dealt with some personal things like body odor. Like that's huge. Listen. Yeah,
Body odor.
listen. Yes. Can you imagine? You a top player, but you don't smell top player? Hey, you don't smell like an A player like that.
I don't know, man. I've had some jobs where I've worked with some um How do you put it? I've had a manager or two that
That's
when
because
they
they all
walk
had
by.
body odor. That was a part of their culture.
No,
So
yeah,
that's what that was.
I'm just
So
saying.
so, but obviously I'm using like probably one of the most extreme examples, but another one is someone who has poor listening, so poor active listening skills, right?
Yeah, I
Where
see that.
there isn't much trust, where they feel as if when they talk to you, you are actually not only hearing them, but you're processing what they're saying, and you're even able to reinterpret it and maybe do something with it. So make something
Mhm.
actionable, or even if it's just to give some viable feedback as to an idea or an opinion, right? So okay, so I'm thinking, okay, executive presence is one. The next one was communication style. Now, for me, this was huge because business storytelling, now I'm thinking about and figuring out ways, how do I insert from an internal perspective how storytelling works within an organization, not just for marketing, not just for branding, but within, like, how does it work within a team? And these were like the top two. So for communication style, one of the examples, it was two researchers that did this work, and they studied thousands of cases, and these are some of the things that they pulled. One great example is a person who uses more I language than we language. It's huge, right?
Yeah.
So here's another one that kind of rose to the top with communication style, was dictation, or diction, not dictation, diction. So which is unfortunate because there are a lot of biases. So especially in American, US companies, if you are a foreigner and you don't have a particular kind of diction, you seem less competent than, even though you are an expert in what you're doing, and you're a top player, you're an A player, you still, man, you give off this vibe, and that kind of ties into the whole diversity, equality, and inclusion, the DEI kind of perspective of what's
Now
going on.
that one's kind of interesting, only
Yeah.
because of just so many people that are leaders, and I'm wondering. So, and I'm guessing that has to really, as far as the addiction, that also has to go into the company culture as well.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
because I know there's a lot of
Yeah.
companies that have people from all over the world in higher positions. So I'm thinking that has a lot to do, or can have a lot to do, with the culture of that company.
Yeah. And it's interesting because every culture has a different, they're excuse me, they're different standards,
Yep, yep.
expectations. There's a story that's being shared. So
Mhm.
for more inclusive companies, that's not a problem, right? You have an accent, but you still know how to get the work done. But here's the thing, though, right? At a C level, I guess it's even more important, because you're not the person who's just the expert doing. You are more so the person who is mobilizing, you're communicating,
Yeah.
you are inspiring, you are strategizing. It's all of the things that is necessary for the teams underneath you or beside you to get the work done, right? To execute, which is interesting. Another example in the communication style was, and this is using ivory tower language.
Ivory tower language.
Ivory tower language. You are just using, instead of saying, you have a tendency to do excellent in your work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Instead of using tendency, you say, you have a distinct inclination.
Got you. Wait, okay.
The
So
behavioral standards that you have applied to your own personal development.
So which way? So which way is that leaning towards? Moving upwards into C level, or moving further in your career, or not moving further in your career?
The misconception is the higher you go, you think the loftier your speech needs to be.
Yeah.
And that is a myth. That is false.
Wow. Yo, I gotta see I gotta see the paperwork on that one.
I'm gonna send you the article right
Man,
now. I'm gonna put it in it. Yeah.
That right there. That's
Send it to you right now. Listen, people think that you need to be more technical and sophisticated with your language. People are looking for more down to earth, colloquial speech. Now,
That's
this is interesting,
interesting.
right? Because of course, it still needs to be speech that's going to uphold. Here's the dynamic, right?
Uh-huh.
Executive presence, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting because depending on the company that you're in, and also the white America culture that we're in as well,
Yeah.
what kind of language do you need to, especially if you're a minority, do you need to adapt that still holds executive presence and yet still keeps you down to earth with direct reports and others? That is the balance. Because that's what they don't talk about in in this article, but that is a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where there are many of us who we have to kind of balance both. But in general, though, what they're saying is, yeah, throw away the pish posh. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Throw that all away and
Gotcha.
keep it real simple, right?
Well,
Simple, simple, simple.
and what's that again? Ivory Tower.
Yeah, ivory tower
Ivory Tower
language.
language. Okay, that's what I got. All right.
Ivory tower. So let me look this up. So the ivory tower meaning is defined as this: it's an impractical, often escapist attitude marked by aloof lack of concern with or interest in practical matters or urgent problems. A secluded place that affords the means of treating practical issues with an impractical or often escapist attitude, especially in a place of learning. So you know what I translate that as? You're so heavenly minded that you're of no earthly good. You are using all kind of scholarly language and theories when it's just like I just need people buy, what do they say? They buy hammers to get the hole in the wall. They're not looking for the man. I butchered that, but but that's the whole point, right? They're not looking for the sexy hammer. They're looking for the practical hole.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to set up the hammer when it's like, but I don't.
Yeah.
I just need you to drill a hole so that I can just hang up the picture on the wall. So
Gotcha.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, you know why? I know it's probably watching is because I didn't share this. How about that?
Oh, you didn't let anybody know what was going on.
But that, I am tripping.
You gotta let people know, man.
Hey, gotta let them know. Let's just do that right now. Please hold. Hey, do you remember Nextel?
I do remember Nextel. I was talking to somebody not too long about Nextel phone.
Yeah, I think I still have a case, but I don't have the phone anymore. Anyway, so I've been waxing eloquent about this kind of piece. The reason why this is important to me on my side is because I'm really looking for research and also, first person accounts on how does communication impact teams in organizations, particularly healthcare, but from a storytelling vantage point. What I'm realizing is that I can't really focus on the storytelling piece because it's still very ethereal. There I go with the ivory tower language. It's very abstract for people. It is hard for them to conceive, to be like storytelling. How does that fit into the versus communication, right? So there's that. But yeah, let's talk about that for videography though. What in your world of making videos is like an ivory tower? Just like y'all are doing the most. We don't need all of that to tell the story. All we need is this shot or these three, scenes in the storyboard. What does that look like?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So in this world of video, a lot of times it's gear. It's really the gear that you're using. Now, gear's important.
Okay.
There's a lot of, and I think you and I even had a conversation about it, where people like to say, yeah, gear doesn't matter. Well, it does when you are actually doing the work. It doesn't when you're learning how to do the work. Oh man, I just had a conversation with my friend Andrew Bonaparte. He has a YouTube channel. It's called Let's Teach. And we were having a conversation, I want to say it was probably Sunday. And I gave him an example that you can do an amazing job shooting a video with an iPhone. iPhone had a great commercial. I want to say it was last year or the year before last, where they were showing kids having a snowball fight, run around, they would jump in and flipping off of trees. It was an amazing commercial. It was all shot on an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Great. When I say it was a great commercial, it was great. If you haven't seen it, I don't know how you can Google it. Google I shot on iPhone commercial. Great. Now, when you walk into a meeting with the owner of, I don't know, of Mercedes Benz, and they ask you, okay, so how are we going to do this? Do not throw your iPhone on the table and say, you know what, we're going to do it all on iPhone. Don't say that. If it's a part of a collaboration that you're trying to do with iPhone and Mercedes, maybe. But I don't know if I would throw my cell phone out on the table and say that I'm going to shoot everything on my iPhone, because certain clients are looking for a certain, they're still looking for a certain look. They're looking for a certain, I don't want to call it professionalism, but they're looking for I don't know, they're looking for a look. When you walk through the door, they want to know, okay, I can trust this guy with our vision, our idea, to come up with a vision or idea. Yeah. And at that point in time, gear matters. It does.
Okay.
But in the grand scheme of things, when you're trying to tell a story, well, not so much. Let's go back to the Blair Witch Project, a movie that was shot years ago, and that was shot with like a handheld camcorder.
Yeah.
Back in the days,
in the iPhone commercial. 99? Was that a 99? I'm gonna check it right now.
99? Was that 99? I thought it was before 99.
It was 99. Look at that.
99? Okay, cool.
It's crazy.
But that, handheld camcorder, man. Back in the days, not digital. That was a tape.
Like a Sony joint, right? Just put in it, running with the.
Yeah. And it was a great movie. Everybody loved it. Everybody thought it was amazing. Yeah. The iPhone commercials. There've been a couple feature length films shot on iPhones. So we know that you can tell a great story with minimal gear. But in the business, because gear's fun, we have all the lights. It's like while we were sitting up doing this, I thought for like maybe 15 minutes, and I'm not even joking, if I should go into my closet and bust out my big light because I haven't used it in so long. But it's like, let me get the light, get the soft box, let me get all the things set up, let me go ahead and set up my hair light, and I'll just like, you know what, let me bring it back. That's not what I need for what I'm doing.
Right.
So gear definitely is a part of that ivory tower. Can we call it like an ivory tower mentality, maybe?
Okay. Well, okay. So gear is a part of the ivory tower mentality. Yeah. When is it necessary for you to? Okay, is it ever necessary?
Ooh, okay.
Right, because let's be real. Like sometimes when you are with a client, and I'm just from your perspective, and even from mine, right, where you maybe just make and this is probably something that I think I've worked on more in the past, but where you may drop some knowledge that they may not necessarily know, but it's enough for them to be like, oh, I don't really know that, but it sounds like because you try to just drop just enough to share. Okay, I'm credible and I know what I'm doing. Are there moments? Are there ivory tower moments that are strategic for you to convince the client? Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and pull out the red XLR, and I have no idea, by the way. We're just going to pull out the Canon M200, and then they'll just leave. They'll just walk away from me. But, I'm saying, like, are there moments where you sprinkle, you sprinkle the ivory tower speech so that they say...
It depends. It depends on the conversation. Okay. It really, really does. Because actually, man.
But most times it's a no.
I don't know about most times. It really just depends. For me, I say most of the time no. Okay. Most of the time no. Because when I'm having a meeting, my thing is what I always bring back up is the vision and the story, and the purpose of the video. Purpose of the video, your vision of the video is where I normally stay, because that is going to say what we're going to need. And I guess going back to your original question and all of this, the gear is necessary when the gear is necessary. And I know that I don't know how did that sound? Did that sound kind of crazy?
No, that makes sense. You know, you use the tool when the tool is needed.
When the tool is needed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't walk around with that toolbox that only has the tape and the hammer in it. You know, if it moves and it's not supposed to, you need tape. If it isn't moving and it is supposed to, you need your hammer. That's not the thought process. It's like we have a big toolbox and it's filled with all these different tools, but I need to make sure that I'm using the right ones for the right job. Every now and then I can pull out something extra if I need to, or even if I want to, if there's the opportunity. But for the most part, the gear is necessary when it's necessary. If I'm shooting something, Mike and I, we shot a wedding last year, and we used a drone for that. Okay. And the drone that we used was able to get this like amazing, huge panoramic shot, and we zoomed in. Well, not zoom in, but we flew the drone in, bringing you from way out to right back into where the wedding was taking place. That might not be as easy to get on a lighter drone. Because once you get to a certain altitude, it's hard to battle wind. So at that point in time, we can still use a drone, but we have to be really selective on which drone. Same thing with our cameras. Depending on the camera, if you want to be discreet, well, no, we can't walk out there with a red camera or an Aria Alexa. You can't do that. It's just too much. We want to be discreet. We want to run into the target real fast and shoot someone just walking through Target, grabbing a couple of items. Can't walk in there with a red camera. You're gonna get asked to leave. Hit me. What you need?
Maslow's law of the instruments. Okay, I got to get dramatic for this.
Hit it.
It's dramatic. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you.
In Maslow's hammer,
okay,
what he says is if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yes.
That's it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
But that kind of goes into what we're talking about still, because if all I have is like my workhorse camera right here, my Canon 70D workhorse, I use this camera on just about every gig that we have had. Yes, I've rented a camera. Yes, I've rented lenses. I've done all that. But for the most part, this gets the job done. It does not shoot in 4K, so I'm definitely going to end up retiring this camera. Like it's practically retired now. I only shoot like personal projects on it now. But
if your camera could talk, it would probably be cursing at you. Just free me. Release me.
I don't think I'll ever get rid of this camera though. I just know it so well. And any camera, Canon camera, I'll know because the interface is practically the same.
It's like
however, man, this camera right here, man. Even how I got it, it's just an amazing story. I love this camera. Love it to death.
Shout out to all the Yodas out there.
Yeah.
I have a Lexus, but it's a Yoda engine, so shout out to all of. So okay, so let's talk about some other things. By the way, so my 3:30 got pushed, so my 3 o'clock got pushed, so we got some leverage here.
Right, cool.
If ivory tower language, so here's my thing, right? My thing is, in my world, is there ever a time when having language that is esoteric?
Okay.
Right? Language that only a select group of people may understand because of their degree or because of their specialty will only get. Is there ever a time for that to be implemented so that I guess so that you can exercise your level of authority. You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I
I'm
think
with
I
you.
think now that we're talking about it, um, there is a time when you have to demonstrate your expertise
Yeah,
to your group, or even in your case, like to clients, to let them know I know what I'm doing. And there's a realm that you have no idea about, or you may have heard about, but this is my wheelhouse.
yep,
Sprinkle that ivory tower language right there. But
yeah,
then for me, I think is you
yeah,
jump in and then you jump out. This is my wheel. And
yeah,
I think that the problem I think is when we decide to stay in it, when we use the ivory tower as a as as a as a framework of identity,
yeah,
as opposed to and we started talking about storytelling being a strategic asset. So I'm going to use that term right now, as opposed to the ivory tower being a strategic asset to enforce credibility for a decision that you're going to make that causes the client or the team member to, I don't want to say fall in line, but to buy into where the direction that you're going.
Well, yeah. I mean, and it's
Okay.
also just when you're talking with your with can we call them peers in that world wherever we are.
Mhm.
We're sitting around having conversations. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about f stops and
Yeah.
Kelvins and all that other stuff.
Mhm.
But someone else, I'm just gonna say, yeah, well, color temperature. We need to brighten things up. We need to make it more daylight than we do. Yellow light.
Mhm.
But if I'm talking to my boy Mike, I'm going to say, yo, we need like a really nice mix of daylight and sunlight. Let's bring things down to that middle point of like 4,400 Kelvin, or something like that. Like, oh yeah, let's bump our ISO down to 2.8 when we're in here,
Yeah.
or 1.8 if we got it. So there's different things that I'm going to talk about when I'm with my peers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you and I are talking, we can sling around different acronyms of business terms and other language that I probably wouldn't break out when I'm talking to my wife per se. And she does the same thing. My wife's a doctor, and she throws out all types of big words and things. A lot of times, I
Mhm.
think she's making some of them up because I would be able to tell the difference anyway.
Yeah. So I wrote it down here, and I think that I'm gonna have to write it again. And I want to put here because I just messed it up. So how do we use the ivory tower as a strategy versus
Ooh.
an identity prop?
Mm.
And I'm gonna put here i.e.
That's
Insecurity,
good.
because that's really what
Insecurity.
it's based on, right? It's people having to use language that they
Uh,
think other people don't know so that they can seem smarter. And for some reason, not even for some reason, the reality is a lot of A players in companies don't get to the C level because they do that. They're
yeah,
speaking in languages that people don't understand.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if we're saying that, okay, ivory tower language is not inherently evil, it's just used too much, you distance yourself from the people that you're either trying to lead, or the
Hmm.
clients or the prospects that you're trying to win over, right, to get
Yeah.
business from. When would you, and you probably might have already answered this, but I want to do this before we move on to the next thing. When would you use ivory tower language in your space as a videography consultant, as a person who knows how to tell, yes, I'm going to use the word cinematic stories, right? When do you drop that on? When do you sprinkle that on so that the
Um,
client says, ooh, yeah, I think he's the one.
it always depends on who's in the room, and because that's a big thing.
Okay.
I had a meeting a few years ago now, and I sat down with someone, and they were from they were from Hollywood,
Hmm.
and they were talking about cameras and file types and bit rates and all of that other stuff. So
Hmm.
I also had to speak the same way.
Mm.
So I think it's always going to depend on, for me, it's always going to depend on the conversation at hand.
So who is
Because
that? Who is in the room that needs to, I guess, experience some of the just a glimpse preview of esoteric language
mhm.
that so that other people are looking at this and like, okay, but when and who am I looking for maybe in my own, what are some of maybe the characteristics when you're in a room
Mhm.
and you're like, okay, I think I just need to give them a little bit of my world that they don't fully understand, but for them to say, okay, yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah, body language.
Okay.
Yeah, body language. I try to pick up on someone's energy whenever I'm talking to them, because
Yeah.
there have been times that no one in the room is using any type of. They're not using any big words.
Mm.
They're not using any. They're not using anything in
Yeah.
the conversation that we're having that lets me know that they understand this world. However,
Mm.
if their body language is very aloof,
Yeah.
okay, now I need to make sure that you understand that
Mm.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And depending on this conversation, I'm definitely the right person for this project.
Okay.
You know,
This
my
is
team and
interesting.
I, we are the best fit for
Yeah.
this project. Yeah.
The reason why that's interesting is because what you're saying is that there is a moment in time where it's not that the ivory tower language, it's what's making them disinterested. It's the I don't know, the humdrum of talking about the project itself.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're saying is you'll bring in some of the interesting things that they're just like, I don't even know what that is, but it sounds good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
That's it.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that right there. Yeah, like,
Okay,
oh
that's
shoot, he
good.
must know what's going on.
That's good because there's this level of, now you're talking about body language. We know that 98%, right, of communication comes from nonverbal communication. So what
Mm-hmm.
you're saying is via nonverbal communication, you're now saying, okay, I see what I need to do. I'm going to use ivory tower language as a spark of excitement to
Yeah,
kind of inspire them to say, oh, this is kind of the journey that we'd be going on if we bring on Theodore as
yeah,
our consultant or as our
yeah, yeah,
videographer. That's good.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't like. I'm one of these guys that the I don't love ivory tower language. I really
Yeah.
don't. I like things to be clearly understood. And I want to,
Yeah.
whenever I sit up and talk to anybody, if I have a room full of 20 people or if it's only two, and I'm
Mhm.
discussing what I do, what my company does, if I'm talking to you about it, I want you to understand. I want you to be to walk away and say, you know what, I
Yeah.
know exactly what he does. And
Yeah.
I either need to work with him or,
Yeah.
you know what, I need someone else. That's fine. But I
Yeah.
want people to have a clear understanding of who Third Avenue is and who I am.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny because I enjoy watching the show. I haven't seen it for a while though, but the show Frasier, and all
Uh,
they do is use
all they
ivory
do.
to everybody.
Yeah. Right back. Right
Almost.
back.
And it's interesting because
Woo.
it's not even like they can help it. They can't help it.
Yeah.
Like it is just in them. And so it makes me wonder, like, because this is a show that I like, it's like, do I enjoy using, words that, or is it just I can't help it. I wonder that sometimes. I
You,
think I have a good mixture. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't
you
know.
know, it's funny, dude. Okay, so I love great. How do you say this? I like movies and shows that have a just this beautiful mix of language as
Mhm.
far as when people are talking. I love Frasier.
Mhm.
I did. It was just silly and funny. I also liked The West Wing when it was out a long time ago. I like
Yep.
quick witted. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Gosh. Uh, this is so bad that I cannot. Sherlock Holmes, the movie
Okay.
Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
Loved it. I love the language. I love the timing, the delivery. So sometimes I do enjoy hearing it. There's even certain speakers that are out there that
Yeah.
use just some of the most beautiful words I've heard in the
Mhm.
English language, man. And I do enjoy hearing them. But for some, I don't know, it's just not in me to use those words.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, this is interesting because you also hit on West Wing as well, and okay, so there. And by the way, Aaron Sorkin, he's just great. He's the writer of
Yeah, yeah, yes.
he also is the writer of Social Network.
Yeah. Also a
He's
good one.
also the writer of what was it, the News Network? No, there was another show that he was. Anyway, he's a great writer. The
Yeah.
Steve Jobs movie, not the one with Ashton Kutcher, the one with
Okay.
Michael Fassbender. Yeah,
Got you, got you, got you.
the second one.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
oh man, what's the woman that's just great?
mm,
How to Get Away with Murder.
Viola Davis. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, she's good too.
yeah. She's good. She's good
She's
as
really
well.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
She has a great handle on just language, man. Just great. Yeah.
And it's interesting, right? Because these individuals, you know, they're people who write for them, right? And then
Hmm.
there are those who deliver
Yeah.
what has been written, and it would be interesting to see and understand who their true identity is, so to speak. Because is it Daniel Kaluuya who won the Oscar for best, I think, supporting actor? I think it was the best supporting actor role.
From
Judas and the Black Messiah.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so he this was, you know, so the most recent Oscars, he won one, and he played Fred Hampton,
Okay.
the Black Panther Party leader, and
Yeah.
the diction and the way that he communicated on screen is different from how he communicates like as his normal stuff. First of all, if you can't remember, maybe you do remember, but I forgot. My dude is straight Brit.
Yeah. Yeah, yes.
Right?
Yeah, yes.
And so the dialect and even the speed in which he talks is so much different than, you know, the actual script, you know, that
Yeah.
he has. First of all, I'm amazed every time they got, you know, British people who just can talk
Yeah, it's
perfect
great. Idris
English
Elba,
dialect. It's
who else? It's a bunch of them, man.
it's a
It's like,
bunch, and you know what? A lot of them, we came to this conclusion a couple years ago. A lot of them use Denzel Washington as their like
really?
their yeah. So you remember the guy from For Life? He's also
Yeah.
British, and he has some Denzel Washington qualities in the acting. In the acting,
Uh-huh.
Snowfall, the guy from Snowfall, I can't remember his name, but he's also English, and same thing. He got some. Then like it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
very
no
interesting.
idea how this plays into storytelling, but it does in some form or fashion.
Well, you know what
People,
you did. There was something that you said in this little conversation that does. It's one of the reasons that I don't use a lot of ivory tower language is because I also want to be the same person wherever you meet me. I don't want to be
mhm.
someone else in when you know when we sit down for a meeting
Yeah,
that I am as if you meet me at Starbucks.
yeah.
You
That's
know, I don't want to be that different of a person. Yeah, I understand it's two
yeah,
different scenarios, so there are going to be some differences, but I don't want to be so different where it's just like, yo, who is this guy? I
right.
don't want that. And that's another reason why I don't. And I think that some of these people with ivory tower language that use it, I think sometimes they're two different people. They
Mm,
can be two different people.
yeah, yeah.
So I was trying to tie that all in together,
That's
man. I
good.
don't
No,
know if that worked or not.
that's good. It worked. It
All
worked.
right, cool,
Here's
cool, cool.
the third factor in this article that I read that deals with, you know, why. So this is from a storytelling perspective, right? These are stories that executives are telling to themselves or to each other as they make decisions on whether this person should be promoted to the upper echelon of the organization. So they're narratives that are things that are nonverbal, like body odor, things that are actual, right, things that are as a visual and audible, right, and so the third version or the third factor is peer relationships. And one of the examples that they gave, we just talked about it just before we got on, was that if your team or if your colleagues feel as if you are pretty much in this business or
Yeah.
in doing this job, you're just in it really for yourself more than you are for the team to win, then executives who are hiring take a look at that as an indicator of how you're probably going to perform if you were to
Yeah.
get invited up, on the 57th floor,
Yeah.
right? And so, interestingly enough, it's yet another story that's being told where your own peers, if they don't trust you, or if they feel as if you are more selfish for personal promotion or personal gain than you are for collective success,
Mm-hmm.
that could stunt the growth in the
That's interesting.
career. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little earlier, and it's like I get it,
Yeah.
but do you think that might be different industry to industry?
Uh
Because it's
you gotta give me
we do have
give
some
me an example of
instructional
when it's like,
industries,
yo, it's a
man.
dog eat dog,
Yeah.
and I respect that. He goes, give me some examples because I'm really trying to think of when that really outside of like a movie context, or maybe Wall Street is probably the only place. Maybe
Well,
Wall Street.
I do know in just gosh, no, I'm not going to put anybody out there that a lot of people that might follow this might know. Let's try to go to. I do know in law
Uh,
there are some instances where um, when you put your success over other people in your firm,
mhm.
that can help push you a little further up the totem pole. How long I don't know. For how long I
Okay.
don't know, because I
Yeah.
also know this is actually these are from people that I know.
Mm, mm.
There are times when would you call that management? Whoever's above the other people in this legal team, there are some times when they will pit a few people against each other.
Against to see what they're made of and like if they
Yeah,
got that
so
dog
I
in
was
them.
wondering, just wondering.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's do this. Let's point it back to your world, right? So your
All right.
world of
Uh,
of film, cinema, videography, storyboarding, storytelling.
yeah.
Is there space or is there room for there to be uh peer relationships where somebody says, "Oh, yeah, Theodore, like he's about, you know, singularly just getting the movie done or getting this film or getting this project completed, and if you're not on board with him, he just might cut you loose, but
So
man, his stuff looks good at the end and I
yeah,
respect. Like,
yeah.
is that a reality or
That is
um
a huge reality in this. I
mm,
mean, we see it in Hollywood all the time.
mm,
There's directors out there that, yeah, if it's not their way, it
you're
literally is
jerks?
the highway.
Yeah.
And because this is more of an art
Okay.
than it is, there's no standard here. There's no standard in
Mm,
this thing at all, man. And we see that from film to film, commercial to commercial,
yeah.
from different video project to video project. There's
Mm,
no standard. There's no these are the steps in order to get this done.
yeah.
These are the steps in
Yeah.
order to get further along this road here, because you can do very well without going to Hollywood. You can do very well without moving to a large
Mm,
agency if you're doing like commercial work,
yeah.
which is what I enjoy. I enjoy commercial work over doing any type of film.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but I do enjoy the commercial work more. But I can sit here and do almost everything myself, taking
Mm,
from our best bald friend Chris Doe, his train of thought. Yeah, I can sit here and have a team of people that I've never actually met.
yeah.
You
Do the
know,
whole
I'm
thing
just sitting
remotely.
and work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's a good
so
point.
there's so many different ways to get ahead in film and in video
Mm,
that you can be a total butthole and only look out for self
yeah.
and do very well. I think the better project experience is when you want everyone to be successful.
Yeah.
But I just feel that way in totality about just about everything. I'm big on team, so
In general.
that's
Yeah.
always going to, yeah. In general, I'm just big on team. I know working on projects with people that I really get along with, that everybody's trying to help each other. Those are always super duper smooth. But
Okay.
I have been a part of a project where, I was told, like, to my face, like,
Mm.
yo, you wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
there's too many different avenues to be successful in this.
Yeah.
Um, that
Mm.
I don't know if, I mean, you're going to hear a lot of people say, yeah, team is where it's at.
Yeah.
You're going to hear less people talk about, yeah, it's all about me, my craft. This is my art. I'm putting my thing in front of you,
Mm.
which is very true.
Mm.
But even in those circumstances when people are talking team, some of those people are like, this is my project. I
Yeah.
called you guys to help me out, but I'm going to try to make it as comfortable as I can for you. But
Mhm.
listen up,
Mhm.
if y'all don't do it my way, you can go and find something else to do.
Mm.
So
Mm.
yeah, I don't know if there is necessarily, um there is no standard. Um
Does executive storytelling really depend? And when we say this, we're talking about presence, communication, the pieces that we kind of just talked about. Does it really Is it really more beneficial for an organization or an industry where there are levels? Well, there's levels in the movie industry too, but or
yeah.
film industry, but in an organization, where there are, associate, director, manager, C-level,
Mhm.
versus agencies, perhaps, where it's really just a flat hierarchy. There's the founder, and there are the workers, so to speak. And I know that not every agency is like that, but I'm just thinking, like, most creative agencies, they're not really many echelons. A lot of it is really kind of like the Matrix hierarchy. I can't remember, but there are not too many levels.
Yeah.
For mid-size agencies, it's really just the founder, who's also the person many times who also gets the work in, right?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
they love doing that work. But then there are the others, like, they're the creative directors.
Yeah.
Then there are the actual, see, now they're levels, now they're
Yeah.
levels.
Okay. So there are a lot of levels still
Yeah.
in this in agency work, or agency style companies.
Mm.
Yeah, they levels exist.
Yeah.
Some of them are more lateral than
Mm.
they are, going up a level.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah,
I'm
there's
gonna
an
make you.
hierarchy.
I'm gonna
There's
make you
definitely
solo
a hierarchy.
for. I'm gonna make you solo for a second. B.
Hit it.
Let me see if I can. If I can switch you over here. Let's see. Okay, because your boy got to take a quick break. Keep
Gotcha.
going. Keep going, B.
So yeah, man, there are levels in agencies, just like there are in creative agencies, just like there are in any company. The smaller, of course, the less levels. The larger, yeah, there's going to be more levels, and there's going to be more people at certain levels. But um, when gosh, I kind of forgot where we were. I think we were talking about executive storytelling. I think I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was. But I don't remember what we were talking about as far as executive story. You kind of left me out here on the ledge. Like, I can take this thing any way I wanna right now, if I just in any direction. And let's see, what do we have here? Staying on storytelling. Staying on storytelling in uh are you back? Do I hear you back, Chris? because I'm about to take over the show. If you okay, cool. So in storytelling, and we're going to look at. I think you're back. I think I hear you back. Yep. Okay. Cool. Good.
No, don't stop.
Good. Oh no, I was about to take over. I was about to twist and turn this thing because I know we started going on executive storytelling. I just forgot what direction we were trying to go in. So
Cool, man. Hey, so okay, let's so we talked about a few things. You know, we looked at how executive presence, how peer relationships, and also how communication style, you know, impacts not just somebody being promoted to a C-level position, but also individuals who just need to tell better personal stories so that they can have better team synergy. Like we're saying, you know, if you or to even secure a client, you know, if you use the ivory tower language as an identity versus as a strategy, then you're going to isolate yourself from people who just don't understand you versus you using it as a strategy to kind of position yourself as you want to hire me because there's some things that I do know that is going to make this work that you may not necessarily have because if you did know about it, you would have done it already. But since you don't, let me sprinkle the language that you don't know, right?
Yeah. I think ivory language in what we both do, I think is going to, like how you said, it's going to kind of like separate us from certain clients that are just not going to work with us because they, number one, they might think like, oh, this, I'm not going to be able to afford this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it does in marketing and advertising, content marketing, it when you're using certain language, it's going to be associated with a larger operation. And because it's going to be associated with a larger operation, you're going to start thinking they get larger clients, so I'm not going to be able to work with these people.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's true. That's true. If I go through an assessment with a potential, you know, client and start asking them questions like, you know, what's your return on investment or your return on assets? You know, what's the percentage of the investment that you think is going to da, 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 da. Then it's like, oh, this, you know, it starts to question whether or not am I the kind of client that you typically work with, because I don't know if I have the budget to even consider these questions, or my business isn't even big enough for me to start thinking about certain things like this. So, or if you say, you know, what budget do you have for X, and it's like, I don't had a budget for it at all. So so you're right. I think that makes sense.
When we're talking to certain clients about their current social media strategy, current social media marketing strategy, and this is actually something recent. We're talking about so what's your CTR? You know, what's your click-through rate? Just like my click-through rate. What like how many people are clicking and it's taking them to where you want to go? What do you know what that is? Like, and that automatically can make certain people like, yo, I'm already out of the league. I'm done. I can't do this. You know, versus saying, well, how many people are visiting your website from your social media account? And then just like, oh man, let me think, not that many, or whatever, if they actually have a number. So it can.
Yeah. And you know what? I think what makes the difference is by you explaining to them. So what you click, and they're like, I don't know what that is. But doing it in a way where they don't feel stupid. You know, where they don't feel belittled, because then it's kind of like, as a client, I don't want to feel as if, you know, I mean, clearly I'm reaching out to you for help. Don't make me feel dumber than I
No.
And I already, and so you know, so you make a great point there, because not it would have, you would have been the jerk if you just said, "What's your CTR?" and they're like, "Yeah, CTR," versus
Yeah,
you
but like,
saying,
yeah.
"What's your CTR or your click through rate?" for them to be like, "Oh, okay, that's what he means." So it's like you are kind of implementing, and I like that you're implementing. This whole video is probably going to be about ivory tower language, because I think we probably talked about that the most.
I think we have. Yeah, I think that's it.
Being able to sprinkle that kind of terminology, right, that jargon, but in the same moment you are explaining it. So in a sense, what you're doing is you're also educating your client, who's not even maybe even a client yet, for them to realize that these are some of the things in my world that you need to understand, because this is what I'm gonna take you through. And you don't have to understand everything, but I'm gonna give you a taste of what we're gonna be doing by me asking you particular questions that you probably never have thought about before. And I'm also going to use language that you might not even have heard of, or you might have heard of, but nobody explained it to you. So as a consultant, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to some new stuff in the meeting, but then also explain it to you at the same time without really explaining it to you, so that you feel as if you don't know it. And it then turns around and makes me still come out as the expert, the person that you can trust, because not only am I introducing some new methodologies or some new terminologies at this point, not even a method, but just the words, but I'm explaining it to you. So perhaps that's a microcosm of what the actual project would look like. Well, I will walk us through the project and I will walk you into the unknown, but me as the pioneer will be the one to guide your hand and to explain to you the things that don't make sense. And then here's the thing too. Now I'm a soapbox. Now it gets to the point where they don't even know some of the stuff, and you're like, shh, just trust me. You don't even have to explain anything anymore. Just, I do this. But you're giving them enough for them to know, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's when the trust starts falling in.
That's when the trust starts falling. So maybe strategic leverage of ivory tower language can help build your executive trust. Boom, that's it.
I agree.
I'm going to change my whole value proposition right now.
That was good. I'm writing that down.
I will say it again. So I'm gonna put here as a summary.
All right.
Strategic leverage. How about we say the strategic leverage of ivory tower language. What did I say? I don't even remember what I said. Creates? No, I didn't use the word create.
You didn't use create.
I did not use create. No, didn't say develop. Results? No. Can develop. I know I said executive trust, but I don't know. I'm trying to.
Ivory tower language
Can develop executive trust. Does that even make sense? Is this an ivory tower language statement? Meta now.
It totally is.
So maybe instead of saying the strategic, how about we just say using? You see how we made it simple, guys? Using ivory tower language.
Oh gosh.
In moderation. Well, you know, strategic means it's intentional. So
yep. I don't mind strategic.
You say you don't like strategic?
Strategic is cool to me. I like that. That's a good word.
Okay. So how about using ivory tower language strategically?
Okay. Using ivory tower language strategically
can
just build executive trust?
I mean,
no, you want another word?
I mean, we can't say that. Executive trust from or for clients. Yeah, prospects. How about that? Prospects. It's team members. Yeah. I guess. I'm sending it. Sent.
Yeah, do it.
Sent. Okay. It's there. It is there.
There
That
it
still
is.
sounds kind of fluffy, but that's all right.
Using ivory tower language strategically can build executive trust from prospects, clients, and team members. All right.
I think from is wrong, but for. It should be for. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, just know that what you say makes a difference.
It does.
How you say it matters.
Yes, sir.
And how frequently you say it is what will develop credibility or sabotage your relationship with peers and prospects.
That was
you know, I need to start, well, this is recorded. So
yeah.
I'm not gonna
go back over this recording. That was good.
I'm not gonna look back. But but yeah, because I can't even remember what I just said. However, it was important. So you guys go back.
That's good.
Go back and hit that rewind.
Yeah.
Is there a rewind when it comes to live stream now, right? Like the replay pass?
You can do it. You can do it on YouTube.
This is true. You can go back. Is that considered rewinding, or is it like jumping back? What do they call it?
I always call it rewind.
Oh.
Yeah, because let me see. Yep.
And the reason why we say rewind is because back in the day you had tapes and you actually
had to rewind. Oh my gosh. Why did you just date us like that, dude?
Yeah, I know, right? Remember when you had to use the pen when everything got like jammed up and you got
to stick the pen in there and twist that thing around, get it
and back. Not even a pen, you have to use a pencil because of its octagonal shape or hexagonal shape because it's got the little really just stick it in there and just y'all kids don't know about that. I don't know about them days. Sony Walkman days. Man. All right, bro. We're gonna tie this up. Listen, for those of you that have questions, we've got answers. Go ahead and drop it in the comments. We'll come back to this. 2 things that are coming up. I'm coming up with and I'm actually, if you want to do this, let's so I'm coming up with a course, guys.
Nice.
Right? So this course is going to help you to tell better stories, to communicate better. So let's let me see. How do I bring this up?
Oh, you're bringing it up on the big okay. I was looking
like I've never used StreamYard before.
Here we go.
Yeah. So here's where you can find what I'm working on, guys. Bartley.group. Go ahead and click at the top link. It's going to show you exactly what the course is and how it's going to take you through that. As a matter of fact, I'm tripping. Why don't I just like go on the site as opposed to like talking about the site?
Go right to it, man. Show us what that thing look like.
How about that? So I'm going to stop sharing this so that we can actually go to the site. Yeah, guys.
Ooh.
So here's the site. It's going to look like this. And
yeah, look at that.
Pre-order, right? So you go to the pre-order newest course. You're probably going to see my face in some video. Don't worry about all of that. Scroll down. You can either pre-order here or you can pre-order at the bottom. And when you check it out, there it is. Now there's an actual code. Okay. So there's a coupon code. I can't remember what the code is. I think it's called Spring123. And it'll like shave off like $400 or something like that.
What? So, a whole $400?
Listen, it's half, right? We're talking about pre-ordering, right?
Boy.
So yeah, as a matter of fact, I think it is called Spring123, but I'll have to check. But I mean, if y'all want to pay for the whole thing, pay for the whole thing. But just know that there is a coupon code so that you can actually get
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Put it in there and see what happens.
Okay, let's see. Let's see what it says.
Let's see if that's the. Let's see if that's it.
Oh,
that is not it.
Invalid. Maybe it's spring 21. Oh,
there it is.
He was right.
Spring
and
21.
$400 off, y'all. So listen, it's
the
there.
coupon
Spring
code
21.
21.
All right, you know what? So what I need to do is I need to go ahead and put that in the little thing here.
Yeah.
And make that the thing. All right, guys. So I wonder if I can automatically do it. But if y'all feel magnanimous, y'all can go ahead and click off the discount and pay for the whole thing. But I would not suggest that.
For anyone that's watching right now.
For anybody, yeah.
This is a limited time only. Limited time only.
Okay, so this is where we start building out. Where we're talking about executive presence, we're talking about communication style. This is one of the ways that you can do that. One of the best ways that you do that is by actually telling a story, literally telling a story, or using this storytelling framework to govern yourself in the workplace, in the professional setting that you're in. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you tell a once upon a time story, but you use that storytelling framework for maybe what you say, how you dress, like all of that. And you're probably thinking like, I don't know, how does that work? Well, that's why you get the course, right? You get the course that you work through that. Okay. So there's that. B, what are you working on?
Oh man, right now I am still working on this this workshop, man. This is going to help everyone get the most out of their streaming and video conferencing experience. Still working on that. Still about 2 weeks out. About 2 weeks out. I want to just make sure that I have everything in line, that I'm going to be able to give some really good stuff. This is all free. It's going to be pretty fun. We're going to go through a lot of different setups, from just using your laptop, iPad, or cell phone to using other equipment, camera. We're going to a little bit of lighting, not too much, because I want to be able to just show what you can do with what you already have at your house. You don't need the big fancy lights and whatnot. You don't need the backdrop that we have, you and I both. So we're just gonna go through that. That's coming up in. Give me another 2 weeks. Give me another 2 weeks.
Okay. Cool. How about, let's do this?
Hit it.
How about this? What if you did a dry run with just some ideas?
Okay.
Tomorrow.
When?
Mañana. And to sweeten the deal so that it actually benefits both of us, we talk about how it could possibly be beneficial for the telehealth space, doctors who are actually working from home.
Let's do it. What about Friday? How's your Friday looking?
Let's see here.
Yeah, thank you.
10, 12, 133.
Oh, that's not the calendar. That's the calendar.
Friday might be a little rough.
Friday might be tight.
Yeah, Friday looks.
Because my tomorrow and Thursday are super tight.
Well, you know what? 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock?
Maybe we can do 2. 2 to 3. What if we did that?
I like that. We'll do it. Here we go.
Okay. All right. I'm going to create the same setup, and then we can rock it out.
Okay.
All right, listen, y'all.
Right now.
Friday, 2 o'clock.
Yep. We
are going to be talking about. This is where you chime in. This is where you chime in, right?
Whoa, man. We're doing a dry run. What are we going? We're going to talk about just using your laptop and or computer to create a better streaming experience on your laptop or computer. That'll be easy for me to kind of like get together in a couple of days.
Yeah. And how that can translate for healthcare professionals.
Yeah.
How that translates for now, it's not just for healthcare professionals, but that's my wheelhouse. So what we'll do is we'll be able to hit two birds with one stone.
I like that.
And
Yeah.
of course, it'll also apply to other people. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely going to be developing
There we go.
that. We'll come up with the title and all of that as soon as we get. Actually, no. Hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's write it out. Let's write it out right now. So this Friday at 2 p.m. we will be live streaming Theodore's. What would we call this? Like, what is a dry run called? My ivory tower words escape me.
We're doing oh shoot, we are doing a what's the word in performance? We are having a dress rehearsal.
Okay.
Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? A dress rehearsal?
I'm not too.
Doing a pre-course. I don't know. What do you call that?
Like it's like a rough draft, right? Like what's
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say dry run.
Dry run. We can still use dry run.
Do they? I mean, does dry run have like a negative connotation? I don't know.
I hope not.
I think people still use dry run. Let's see, dry run synonym.
Yeah, that's what I just put in. Let's see. What else? What other words?
Run through.
A run through. Yeah, this it's like the same thing.
Practical
And you said
test.
practical test. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
that.
see that too.
Dummy run.
Test run.
Test run.
Trial run. Why didn't we think of these?
Oh my goodness! All these things popping up now. Okay.
Live streaming. What do you want to say? A trial run?
Let's
A
go
beta
trial
test?
run.
Okay.
I
Trial
like
run
trial run.
of Theodore's webinar. Is it a webinar or masterclass?
Ooh, let's do masterclass. That makes it sound like amazing.
Okay.
I like that.
Do a masterclass in an hour. Have mercy. It's possible. A trial run of, how about part of Theodore's masterclass
Part. Yeah.
that covers creating. No, what would it be? What would you call that? Using. What would that be for you? You said it earlier. Using your personal devices. No. I mean, yeah. Is it like using your phone and laptop?
Yeah. Well, we're going laptop and computer.
Okay.
On this one.
Okay. Laptop.
Yeah. Yes. Because that's the first part of the workshop anyway.
Okay.
A lot of us are streaming from our computers and laptops, so that's the first part of it. So they'll get the trial run of that portion.
Okay. Using your laptop and computer to
streaming.
We got to give it something a little bit more than just
streaming.
Yeah. What kind of streaming? Like effective streaming, sexy stream? Well, no. Never mind. That's the OnlyFans type situation. We don't want that. It's the truth. We don't want these healthcare workers turning into
no, we don't want
other kind of workers.
We do not want OnlyFans healthcare workers.
Doesn't matter. Okay, so covers using your laptop and computer. I mean, it really at the end of the day, it's using your computer to professionally stream. Stream professionally. Grammarly's telling me I have some errors. I don't care, Grammarly. Oh, I missed a comma. Sorry. Okay. Using your computer to stream professionally. Okay. And what else are we going to put here? And we will focus on healthcare professionals.
I like that. My wife would like this. Let me,
Boom.
even though we've already set her up. But yes, we do. We use her because she streams from her work laptop. So
Okay. There it is. I put it on the screen.
nice. It is
This
right.
Friday at 2 p.m., we will be live streaming a trial run of part of Theodore's masterclass that covers using your computer to stream professionally. And we will focus on, I don't know why I'm sounding like that, healthcare professionals.
Cool. I'll even use her. I'll use her setup.
Oh, that'll be tight.
Yeah, I'll use her setup.
Okay, cool. All right, bro. Let me end this broadcast right quick.
Yeah, man.
Hey, y'all. If for some weird reason you still stuck throughout all of this, you deserve a prize.
Yeah, especially this last part.
Your prize would be, and I'm only going to give this to one person. You have to DM me. What would they DM me?
I don't know.
I want your course for free. Only one person.
Ooh. You mean they're going to get the whole thing? The whole 99?
Oh, dang. Oh, kit and caboodle.
That.
I will customize a code just for you. If for some strange and loyal reason you are officially a 1,000 true fan follower, I'll do that just for you.
Whoa, buddy. I like it. Yep. That's something, man.
Yep. It is. It is. All right, y'all. We out. Catch y'all on Friday. Well, you'll catch us on Friday.
Yes.
Y'all probably catch me tomorrow. I holla. We'll holla.